Welcome back, my champions. And I know you did good on the quiz, alright? Good job. Well done. Now, welcome to this sub-lesson. In this sub-lesson, we're going to talk about place value and also the value of the digit of a decimals, alright? Okay, so let's put the number down. Okay, let's say, for example, if I were to write 3,472 point, let's say 5689. So let's read them. Let's understand this place values, okay? Now, this is the balancing point between the decimal and the whole number. So keep in mind, this decimal, the period right, the decimal right there, decimal numbers, whole numbers, alright? Now let's review what we learned from our whole number, okay? Okay, so let's put place values, okay, for the whole numbers. Now this is considered ones, alright? Keep in mind, this is ones family, and this one is tens family, okay? Tens, and this one is hundreds family, okay? Hundreds, alright? And this one is thousands family, thousand, okay? Thousands family. So these are the place values for the whole number, alright? Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and what will be next one will be 10,000, and next one should be 100,000, and next one should be millions family. See that? So those are place value for the whole number. Alright, now what happened to the decimal? Look at how it goes. With decimal, so let's start with that one. That one is tenth. It's in the tenth family. See that? The word tenth. See that? Look at the difference between tens and tenth. Tenth family, there's no ones, alright? On a decimal, there's no ones. Only start with tenth, and this one will be hundredth, okay? Hundredth family, okay? Hundredth, Hundredth, hundredth family, okay? A place value, and this one is thousandth. The word the. Okay, make sure you have the. Alright, this is thousandth, and this one 10,000th, and so forth. Just like you're going for the whole number, alright, but you get thousands, 10,000s, 100,000, million, and same thing, you just put the behind it. Alright, so very important, the difference between when you have a decimal is the dividing between the decimal number and the whole number, okay? So with the decimal numbers, you use the. With the whole numbers, you just say ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, things like that. Alright, pretty easy, isn't it? So now, if I had to pick a digit, like for example, if I pick 8, what is the value of 8? So 8 will be what? 8,000th. 8,000th. See, just like the way it says 8,000th, that means 8 over 1,000th. See that? That's what the place value for 8. If I pick 5 tenth. 5 tenth is only 5 over 10. See that? If I were to pick 9 is what? 10,000th. 9 is 10,000th. 9 over 10,000. 10,000 has how many zeros? 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. See that? 10,000th. 9 over 10,000. That's the value of that digit. 9 over 10,000. Okay? Or if I were to express in a form of fraction, if I were to express in a form of decimal, that will be what? See right there? 0009.0. So that means 0.0009. That's what is the in a form of decimal. If I were to express in a form of fraction, 9 10,000th. Okay? And that's the value of that. So very straightforward. And of course, if this one will be what? 70 family. Okay, it will be 7 10. So that means 7 10, that will be 70. Alright, this one 2, and this one will be 400, and this one will be 3,000. Okay, place value, but that's for the whole number. But we want to concentrate on the decimal. I want to make sure you understand, alright, how this each digit. Now let's, for example, 6, you tell me, 6 will be expressed as a 600th. okay, 600th. That means 6 over 100, which also means 0.06 in the form of decimal. And that's the value. If I were to express in a fraction, it will be like this. If I were to express in a decimal, it will be 0.06. Keep in mind, okay? See that 0.06. And that's the value for 6. Okay? Alright, good. So that's more on the place value and the value of the digit. Okay? So now let's do a few problems. Okay, let's say for example, if I give you 3.256. Now, if I were to underline 5, what is the place value of 5? How many zeros are there? 1, 2. See that? 2 zeros? Which digit has 2 zeros? I mean, which number has 2 zeros? 100 has 2 zeros. That means this is 100th. 100th. See the decimal right there? And then count how many numbers? 2. That means 2 zeros. 100th. Okay? If I pick 6, put another 0. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3. That means 6 is 1000th. 1000th. Alright? Use the word th. Okay? So let's say if I have a 17.37 and ask you to find this 7. Alright? So how many zeros? See the decimal right there? 1, 2. Okay? That means 7 is under what family? 100th. Because 100 is the only one that has 2 zeros. Like the 1000 has how many zeros? 3 zeros. See that? That's why this one is 1000th. Okay? If I have, let's say, 9.00703, and I want to know what family place value is 3 is in. So how many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? That means I take that, I put a 1 right there. So 100,000th. 100,000th. 3 is under 100,000th family. 100,000th family. Okay? And if I ask you what the value of 3, okay, the value of the digit 3, so it will be 3 over 100,000. Okay? Or it's what? 0.000. See 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you put the 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, because 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 3. So that's in the form of decimal. If I ask you the value in the form of decimal, if I ask you the value of 3, the digit 3 in the form of fraction, it will be 3 over 100,000. Okay? So very straightforward. Okay, good. So let Mr. Mike erase the board and we talk more about comparing decimals, decimal numbers. Alright? We're going to compare them and then we're going to arrange them. Alright? In the form of increasing, decreasing, and those kind of thing. And I'll be back within a few seconds. Alright, my dear students, so now let's talk about comparing decimal numbers. Alright, let's say if I give you a couple numbers. Let's say if I give you 4.35 and then I give you 4.349. So look at this. You get 2 decimal numbers, alright? So decimal right there, okay? Now we want to compare and then arrange them in an increment order. In other words, from small to big, okay? So how do I compare when I have 2 numbers like this? Now look at that. By looking at it, are we going to say, whoa, this one is more digit, this is going to be bigger? No, doesn't matter. But decimal, doesn't mean you have several digit after the decimal makes the number bigger. No. Alright? The way to compare is you got to line them up. Okay? Grab this one, put it right there. Grab that one, put it right there. And then 4, 3, 5. Okay? And then 4, 3, 4, 9. So now we compare with the round number first, okay? The whole number, 4 and 4, they both are same, so there's no way to tell which one is bigger, alright? Then we go to the next digit, alright? In this case, 3 and 3, still same. And look at this, 5 and 4, who's bigger? 5. See that? Doesn't matter, even though it has an extra digit, that digit doesn't make any difference because this one already make the decision. Okay, if this been 5 and 5, then the 9 makes difference because this one is 0. See that? So Keep in mind, after decimal, doesn't matter how many digits behind and after decimal will not make any difference. You got to compare them, because in the whole numbers, yes, it does. Let's say, for example, if I have a 32 and a 138, of course, now 3 digits make a big difference. Even if it's, let's say, 35 and then I got 110. See that? That 3 digit automatically makes it bigger than the 2 digit of the number. See that? But with the decimal, no. You see that you got 3 digits after the decimal, and this has only got 2 digits. Doesn't mean this will be bigger. Okay? You still have to compare individually by the place value. Okay, so it's very important. So now we know 4.35 is bigger. Okay, 4.349 is smaller. Okay, if I have to ask you to arrange it in an increment order, increment, that means ascending. See that? It starts from small, big, bigger, bigger, biggest. See that? So that's ascending. All right, kind of like an airplane is ascending, where it's sitting on the ground and then it takes off. And then takes off and then gets higher and higher. See that? From small height and then gets higher and higher. And that's called ascending or increasing. So in this case, I start with the smallest number, which is 4.349, and then followed by 4.35. Okay? So don't let 3 digit after the decimal, okay, makes you think this could be bigger and that could be smaller. It doesn't matter. Okay? Okay, good. Now, this is increasing, so we're using the increasing approach. Okay, now if I were to talk to you to the decreasing, let's say if I say decreasing, that means decreasing, which is also means the descending. When the plane is on the air and it wants to land, what happens? It from the very high height, it gets smaller. I mean, the distance, the height is going to get smaller and smaller, and then get to 0 when it lands on the ground. See that? And that's called decreasing or descending. All right. So let's say if I give you 3.2 and 3.158, and ask you to do the decreasing order. So in other words, I start the big number and go to the small number. So how do I compare these two? Line them up. What we do, we grab the decimal, grab the decimal, line them up. Okay, very important. In decimal, you're going to hear Mr. Max saying the word line them up, line them up, line them up. Very important. Lining them up by the decimal. It's very important. That is the point where you line them up based on their place value. Once you line them up by the decimal, everything will place evenly. Alright, all the place value will fall in place and properly. Alright, so the moment I put the decimal, I take 3 and then 2 and then 3, 1, 5, 8. See that? Now you can add 0 behind this just to make it, okay, the numbers are lining up together. Okay, now you compare. Start with the whole number. 3 and 3, both are same. That means you still cannot decide who's bigger, who's smaller. 2 and 1, see that? This is bigger and that's smaller. So this 5, 8 doesn't make any difference, because you already decided this number is bigger, this one is smaller. So we start with big to small. When you're decreasing, you start from big. So I'm going to start with 3.2 and then 3.158. Does that make sense? See that? The place value, the moment you got up to the place value with the decimal, at the place value will decide whether the number is bigger or smaller. Like the first decimal place, this is called first decimal place, the second decimal place, third decimal place. We'll talk about it later on when we talk about rounding off. Okay, when we learn how to round the number, the decimal number, we'll talk about first decimal place, second decimal place, third decimal place. Okay. So now you get the idea how to compare and how to arrange them. Okay, so now let's say, for example, if I were to give you a bunch of numbers. Okay, let's say if I give you 0.2 and then 0.25 and then 0.195 and then let's say 0.213, something like this, and then I ask you to arrange them in increasing order. Okay, ascending order. So increasing, ascending. So what do? We line them up. We grab all of them put them in a decimal, line them up. Okay, so let's do that. So grab this decimal, grab that decimal, grab that decimal, and grab that decimal. So there are 4 of them. So let's start with this one. So 0, 2, 1, 3, 0, 2, 0, 2, 5, 0, 1, 9, 5. Okay, now those that doesn't have numbers lining up to it, put 0 to it, like this one, 0, 0, 0. So now you can compare like this based on their place value. Okay, all of them has a zeros, so 0. So that means the whole number, pretty much the whole number side, all is 0, so they're going to be all equal. So then we're going to start with first place value. Okay, in other words, first decimal place, and we're going to see 2, 2, 2, 1. So automatically this is going to be what? The smallest. And which approach are we doing? We're doing the increasing. So we're going to start from the small to the biggest. Okay, so this is going to be the first digit. So I'm going to write 0.195. So I'm going to cross that out. So that means this has already been decided. It's going to be the smallest. Alright, now 1, 2, 3, this 3 all has 2, 2, 2, that means they all are same still. I'm going to go to the next digit. Now I'm going to compare 1, 0 and 5. Who's the smallest? 0. See that? 0 is smallest, so that means 0.200, but we don't need this. I add this 0 so they're easy for you to compare them. Okay, so I'm just going to put 0.2, so 0.2. That means this is gone. Now I'm going to compare between these two. 1 and 5. Who's smaller? 1 is smaller. See that? So I'm going to put 0.213, and that automatically leaves this as the biggest, 0.250. But you don't have to put the 0 behind. There you go. So you arranged it in a increasing order. Alright, see that? You understand that? So the key is what? Lining them up, and then comparing it by the place value. Okay, so when you come to the decimal side, after the decimal, you call this first decimal place, second decimal place, third decimal place, and then you compare them, and that's how you decide who's smaller, who's bigger, in order able to arrange them. So it's very important to understand that. Okay, good. Alright, like Mr. Mac erased the board, let's talk about number line. Okay, how to place them in a form of number line. Alright, so another way to differentiate. Okay, okay, so good. Now let's do this. Mr. Mac's going to erase the board. Let's talk about number line. Alright, I'll be back with you in a few seconds. What is number line? Okay, let's say for example, if I give you a straight line, and then I start with 0, okay, and then 1. Now what's in between this? It's broken up, represent the decimal, kind of like the way we talked in fraction. Okay, now let's put the pizza back up again. Okay, let's say this is one whole pizza. Alright, and then I'm going to cut this pizza into 4 parts. In other words, 4 pieces. I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces, 4 equal pieces. So each pieces represent 1/4. Am I right? How do we know that? Because 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 pieces in a one whole pizza. We cut into 4 pieces, and I only selected 1. That makes it 1/4. This one's 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Now remember this. If I add them, this is 1/4. This will be 2/4, 3/4, 4/4, which makes it one whole pizza. See that? Now, and how do we convert that into decimal? By using the arrow down method. That gives us 0.25. How do I get that? By dividing 1 divided by 4. 1 divided by 4, and I use the long division, which we did previous lessons, sub-lessons. We got 0.25. See that? And we expressed in a form of decimal. Okay, now that's in a form of pizza. Okay, now if I had to translate that pizza into a line, number line. All right, now look at this. Let's treat like as a string. I'm cutting this one long length, the one length, okay, into 4 parts, 4 equal parts. All right, so I'm going to cut it into 4 equal parts. So this is the 1 part, 2 part, 3 parts, 4 parts. See that? 4 equal parts. Now I can label the length from here to here, to there, and then to there. See that? So that's where the decimal comes. So we know that this is, how many parts are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means if I had to put in a form of fraction, all will have over 4. And the first one is 1, the second one is 2, the third one is 3, and the fourth one is 4 over 4. See that, which is 1. But this is now expressing in the form of fraction. If I express in the form of decimal, what do? I divide. 1 divided by 4 is 0.25. 2 divided by 4 is 0.5. 3 divided by 4 is 0.75. 4 divided by 4 is 1. See that? So now we got in a form of decimal. Okay, let me redraw that. Redraw and relabel again. Okay. So this time I'm going to put the decimals in there. So this is 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and this is 1, and this is 0. So now look at this. I expressed that number line in a form of, exactly, in a decimal. This was in fraction, I converted to a decimal. Now, how do I get 1/4 to 0.25? 1 divided by 4 using the arrow down method. Alright, by now you should know that. Okay, I'm not going to explain to you anymore because we already did it in previous sub lesson. So that's why when we move forward, I'm not going to repeat it. Alright, so you should know the moment you looked at how did Mr. Mac get 0.5? Because 2 divided by 4, you should get it. Because why? You belong to Score A Math Victory, and you should understand everything that we learned, and we're going to carry it on with you. It's kind of like the tool belts. You keep it, everything in you. Whenever we need it, you just take it out, use them. Okay? Alright, that's what we're going to do. Okay, good. So we know the decimal way of expressing the number line is 0, 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, 1. Okay? For the 4 parts. Now what happens if I have 5 parts? So let's say, okay, so we're going to break down to 5 parts. Okay, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's pretty much what? A one whole string I cut into 5 pieces. In other words, a whole piece I cut into 5 pieces. So the denominator is going to be what? Very good. 5 over 5 over 5 over 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5 over 5, which is 1. See that? Pretty easy, isn't it? Now we change that into decimal. So this is now 0. 1 divided by 5 is, so we use the long division method. So 1 divided by 5. So use the Cage approach. 1 is kind of into Mr. Mac. I'm going to put inside. 5 is kind of out. I'm going to put outside. In 1, there's how many 5? 0. So then I'm going to put a decimal, bring the decimal up, put another 0. In 10, there's how many 5? 2. So 2 times 5 is 10. Minus gives me 0. Once I come down to 0, I don't need to add any more 0. That means 1 over 5 is 0.2. Now 2 over 5, it's going to be double of that. So it's going to be 0.4. Okay? And then 3 over 5 is going to be triple. So 0.6. Alright, 4 over 5 is fourth of this, so 0.8, and then 5 over 5 is 1. See, we expressed in a form of decimal. Okay, how do I get this? Now I kind of said double, triple, and then we've quadrupled it. But if you want to express this fraction into that, you just divide. 3 divided by 5 should give you 0.6. 2 divided by 5 should give you 0.4. 4 divided by 5 should give you 0.8. Okay, so which you should able to do that. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and put the decimal right away. So keep in mind, this is how you do it. So same thing, if I give you 8 parts, if I cut the string to 8 parts, 8 pieces, so it's going to be what? 0, 1 over 8, 2 over 8, 3 over 8, 4 over 8, 5 over 8, 6 over 8, 7 over 8, 8 over 8. See that? If I cut it into 9 parts, 1 over 9, 2 over 9, 3 over 9, see that? So the number of pieces, but that one still be expressed in the form of fraction, but you need to convert that into decimal. How do you do that? You divide. Okay, like for example 1 over 8, you 1 divided by 8, 2 over 8, 2 divided by 8, 3 over 8, 3 divided by 8. Okay, so that's what you do. Alright, okay, good. So now you understand how to express in a form of number line. All right, now if I to give you, let's say for example, ask you to arrange them in an increment order or decrement order, you could use the number line to arrange them too. Let's say if I give you 0.2 and then 0.35, 0.7 and 0.25 and then I say 0.3. okay, so I want to line them up and see how this works. So 0.3, so let's look at this one, let's use this one right there. Okay, 0.3 is going to fall right here. All right, the 0.3, okay, we're going to put right there 0.3. 0.2 is right there, 0.2. 0.35 is going to be right here, 0.35. It's going to be after 0.3. See that? It's going to be right there. Alright, how do I know that? See that because 0.2, 0.4, so it's got to fall in between 0.3 and 0.4, so that's 0.35. 0.7 is going to fall right here. Okay, 0.7. And then 0.25, okay, 0.25 is going to be right there, 0.25. So now look at that, I already arranged it. If I go increment order, 0.2, 0.25, 0.3, 0.35, 0.7. So by putting all this point on a number line, okay, so I able to arrange them in increment order. This one is increment. If I want to go to increase the order, if I go to decreasing order, just start from here, 0.7, 0.35, 0.3, 0.25 and then 0.2. See that? I'm going downward that way. Pretty easy, isn't it? Alright, good. Well, good. I'm glad you understand how to do the line numbers. Alright, so now you know how to do the number line. Okay, good. I'm going to erase the board. We're going to talk about rounding off, okay, how to round off numbers, decimal numbers, okay, and I'll be back within a few seconds. Let Mr. Mac erase the board. I'll be back. Alright, my dear students, now let's talk about round off, okay, in other words, rounding of decimal numbers off, okay. Let's say for example, if I give you 4.549 and I ask you to round off at 100th place. Okay, now remember the word I'm using is 100th place. So let's put that down, 100th. Now 100th place is same as, which one is the 100th? Right there, 4. The 4 is the 100th place. Okay, so line it up, put a line right there, and then I put a line, vertical line like this. So for the first position where the 100th would be on the decimal number, right there, and then put a line where it divides it, the 100th away from the 1000th. Okay, so in between. So now look at the number 9 on this side. So in other words, we're going to use the butterfly method. Okay, so what is butterfly method? See, like this. See, butterfly. Okay, and this is the lifeline. Okay, and always the right wing decide whether you're going to add a number 1 to 4 or the left wing, or you're just going to leave it the way it is. Okay, that's what rounding off is going to be. So how do we know that? When to add, when not to add? When the right wing either 5 or greater, then you add 1. If it's less than 5, you do not add anything, you just rewrite that number. Okay, let's say for example in this case, is 9 is greater than 5, it is greater than 5. Okay, so that means I'm going to add 1 to the 4. So 1 plus 4 becomes 5. This one becomes 0, and this you just bring it down, the rest exactly this. You just want to modify on this one, unless this number when you adds on to that number, it changes. Other than that, you do not do anything to this one, you maintain the way it is. Okay, but always you decide, this don't decide whether you're going to add 1 or nothing. Okay, let's see for example another one. I say 7.39, let's say 2, and I ask you to again round up to the 100th. Now I'm using the word 100th. Now 100th, it also can be replaced with second decimal place. Okay, second decimal. 100th, the second decimal place, which is what? 1, 2. See, this is the decimal right there. 1, 2. And then you put a line. Okay? Either if you need to be comfortable with either one of this term, either in the form of 100th, if I ask you to round off to the 100th, or the second decimal place. Okay? Means same thing. Okay? So I put a line right there. Now look at that. 2. It's 2. This is the, now see the butterfly method. Alright? So these are the only 2 we're going to play with. So the 2, which is the right wing, to you, which is right wing, if you're facing to, to the monitor here, computer right now, so which is the right wing, make the decision whether I add 1 to the left wing or not. Now do I add 1? 2 is less than 5, so we don't. We leave it, but this one becomes 0. We don't add it, just bring the 9 down, and then 3.7. So your final answer should be 7.39. You drop the 0. So you round it up. The same thing with this one. The final answer is 4.55. You drop the 0 because you round it up to the 100th. Okay? Now let's say, for example, if I ask you to round it up to the 10th, which is first decimal place. Okay? First decimal place. If I ask you to round it up to the 10th or the first decimal place, which is same thing, and I give you a problem. Let's say I give you 73.552. Okay? So 10th or first decimal place. And you know, if I to use this one, this is the 10th. And then you put a line right there. If it's the first decimal, this is the first, you put a line like that. Okay, now it's become a butterfly. Alright, see that? And this is the lifeline, and the right wing is the one that decides. So 5, is 5 equal and greater or less? It's equal. Equal, that means you add 1. You add 1 to this left wing. So this whole thing becomes 0. This whole thing becomes 0. Once you add 1 to here, this whole thing becomes 0. Keep in mind, alright? 1 plus 5 is 6. And then bring the decimal down, 3.7. So your answer should be 73.6 because you rounded up to the 10th. So it should remain only in a form of in 10th place value, all right, or first decimal place. All right, let's do another one. Let's say, for example, if I give you 25.3897, and I ask you to round off to the 1000th or third decimal place. 1000th. Okay, say round off. Round off to 1000th. Or third decimal place, which is same thing. That means third would be 1, 2, 3, because the decimal right there, 1, 2, 3, this one. Or 1000 would be, that's right there. 1000 is how many zeros? 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, and that's the one. Then you put a line right there. It becomes a butterfly method. We're going to use the butterfly method right there. Okay? So the left or the right wing, which one makes the decision? The left or the right wing? The right wing makes the decision. Okay? So we're going to look at the right wing. 7. Is 7 greater than 5? Yes. That means we're going to add 1 to the left wing. 9 plus 1 will becomes what? 10. Oh, that means you're going to put 0, carry 1. 1 plus 8 becomes 9. See that? So it is acceptable because this one became 10. So you have to carry that 1 to 8, and 8 becomes 9. Rest, you just bring it down. 3.52. So your final answer should be 25.390 because they wanted you to round off to the 1000th. So you need to put that 0 there. This zeros behind here, this one is gone. Take that 0 off, but not this 0 because you still want to maintain that 1000th. Okay? Because you want to show that 1000th is 0. Alright, so that should be your final answer. 25.390. Even though that 0 has no value to it, but they ask you to round off to the 1000th. So you want to maintain the 0. But sometimes if it's nothing wrong even if you drop it. It's not going to make the answer wrong. Okay. So, but this shows the precision. So it shows how precisely you are measuring something. That's what decimal is all about. Decimal gives you the precision. The more the digit that's involved, okay, the precise you are measuring. Especially if you're dealing in engineering companies, businesses, in fields where in the industrial world, especially in the engineering side of it, especially when you're machining some tools, some parts for automotive and things like that, you have to be precise. Has to be down to the maybe 10,000th, you know. See that? So such a way they even consider micro. So it's so important that all those nuts and screws and things like that, some of the gears, some of the parts has to be finely machined down. So you cannot have like any gap, okay, such a way that anything can flow in between or dirt can stuck in between, especially in the motors. That's why precision is so important. That's why decimal comes into play, right? You see that? Because you can see the difference. If I to measure something, let's say 1.5 versus 1.4732, that shows the precision there. See that 1.5, if I to round it up to the, let's say 10th, right there, the 10th will give me to 1.5, but this one gives me the precision. Okay, more precisely I'm measuring that tool or the product that I'm machining. See that? This one gives you kind of like a round up. So it's more like if you're going to talk to somebody, you're doing a presentation, you don't want to mention 1.4731 millimeters, you know. You could just say, well, it's 1.5 millimeters. It's round up to 1.5 millimeters, you know. So it's kind of give you a quick way. So rather than trying to be more precise if you're doing a presentation, that's the purpose, is rounding up just to get to the point quicker and you can move on rather than, you know, trying to, because this is more engineers. The salespeople deal with 1.5. They like to round things up, but engineers like to give the exact, precise measurement. All right? Okay, good. So now you understand about rounding off. Okay, make sure you understand the term. 10th, 100th, 1000th. See that? That's deal with the decimals, okay? Numbers. Now, or you can even use first decimal place, second decimal place, third decimal place, all right? So it's just counting after the decimal, all right? So in this case, third decimal will be 1, 2, 3. Second decimal will be 1, 2. First decimal will be 1. See that? And this is like after the decimal you're counting. Keep in mind. Alright? Good. Alright. Well, how about hands-on practice? Alright? Shall we do some hands-on practice? Okay, let's do that. Alright, Mr. Max is going to erase the board and then we'll call Pablo out and he will come out and bring some, we'll bring the worksheet with some problems in it and you'll have fun with it. Okay? And I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Are you ready to have some fun? Good. I am so excited because you want to have some fun to do some hands-on practice, alright? So what shall we do? You want to call Pablo? Go ahead, call Pablo. Louder. Come on over, Pablo. Here he is. He heard you. He heard you. Okay, he cares about you just as much as Mr. Mac cares about you because we want the best, alright? We want the best. Because why? You are the best. You deserve the best. Mr. Mac will only bring the best. And it's coming from the best. Okay, good. Well, here it is. Head over, Pablo, and have fun with it. Make sure pause the video and take your time. And then once you're done, invite Mr. Mac in. And we can work together and compare the notes, alright? Go for it. Go get him. Good. Okay, good. All right. Okay, look like I give you 6 questions. All right, so let's do the first one. All right, the first question says find the place value of the digit 4 in each decimal below. So in other words, find the place value of the digit 4 in each decimals below. Okay, so number 1, A. So it's 3.247. So we're going to find out the place value. Place value. So 4 is in what place value? Now one way of doing it is 10, 20. So 20, what number has 20? Hundredth, okay? So after the decimal, see the decimal? We put 0, 0 where the 4 is. So that means 100 is the only one has 20. So you say that 100th, okay? So 100th. Make sure you remember that. Okay? Not 100. 100th, okay? 100th, okay? So now B. You got 0.0045. Alright, again we're going to find the 4. Alright, place value for 4. So see the decimal right there, after the decimal 1, 2, 3, right below to the 4. Okay, put the zeros up to the 4. So that means how many zeros are there? 3. What number has 3 zeros? 1000. So that means the place value for the decimal 4 would be 1000th. Okay, 1000th. Alright, very important, the word the. Alright, be sure to include that, because if you don't put the it's wrong answer, because that's referring 1000, 100 are referring to the whole numbers, not decimal numbers. Alright, okay, good. Okay, C you got 16.426. see that 4, so put 0 after the decimal. That's only 1 0. What number has 1 0? 10. So that means the place value for 4 is what? 10th. Alright, okay, good. 10th. Alright, and then D you got 34.901. look at this 4, it fell before decimal. Now it's in the whole number section, not the decimal number section. Alright, that means 4 is under U1. Alright, 1 or ones. Alright, 1. Okay, so keep in mind ones. Alright, it's not the decimal, okay? So it's in ones. So then this one will be tenths, okay? And then thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s, so forth, okay? When you're going this way to the decimal, use the 10th, 100th, 1000th, okay? So keep in mind, but we don't have 1th for the decimal, alright? No 1th, only starts with 10th, okay? Keep in mind, start with 10th. Okay, 2, write the place value and the value of the underlined digit below, okay? So in other words, we're going to find the place value plus the value of the digit. So 2A, so we're given 4.763, underline is 6. So the decimal right there, 1, 2. So what's the place value for 6? 100th, because 20. With what number has 20? 100. Okay, it means 100th. So the first part will be 100th, and what's the value of 6? Look at this. Okay, do this. Erase that, bring the 6 down, and then put the decimal, and then put a 0. See that? 0.06. Let me put darker so you can see it. And then bring the 6 down. So the value of that digit is 0.06. Okay, see that? Alright, let's do B. Okay, B, you're given 15.139, and 1 has been underlined. So how many zeros? 1 0. So that means what has 1 0? See the decimal? The decimal should be your point of reference, okay? 1 0, right below 1. Okay, that means 10th. 10th will be the place value for 1. Now I want to find the value of 1. So I bring the 1 down. See the decimal right there? Put a 0. So 0.1. So it will be 0.1. That's the value of that number 1. Okay? Okay, C. C, you're given 0.9021, and then the 2 has been underlined. Okay, so what's our reference point should be starting would be decimal. How many zeros? 1, 2, 3. 3 zeros. So 2 is under what place value? 1000th. 1000th place value. Okay, 1000th. And then to find the value of that, you just erase that, bring the 2 down. Okay, see that? And then put a 0 there. So 0.00, because that 0 representing for that, 0 representing that, the 2 you bring it down. So that is the value. That's the value of that digit, which is 0.002. Okay, pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, so now let's look at D. So D, you got 45.403, and that one right there. Okay, And what's the place value? Again, put the decimal, 1, 2 zeros, okay? So, 2 zeros. What has 2 zeros? 100th. So, it's 100th. So, 100th. And what's the value of 0? It's 0, okay? Because 0.0, see 0.0, I bring the 0 down, it's still what? It's 0, okay? So, you just put 0. Alright? Okay, see that? Even though the 0, okay, it still has the value to it, place value to it, the 100th. Remember we talked about? Just like this one right here, we're comparing with this one and that one. This one has no value. I can drop it, but I cannot drop that, because that will modify the place value of 3. 3 is under what place value? 1000th. If I drop that 0, 3 will become 100th. Which is no, that's not what the number is. See that? So you cannot drop the 0 in between, but you can drop the 0 after at the very end, because that has no value to it. But this one has place value to it. Even though 0 didn't have value, but has a place value to define the number next to it. See that? Okay, keep in mind. Alright, good. Alright, problem number 3. Arrange the following decimals in increasing order. Increasing, see that? So the moment is the word increasing, the plane is taking off, which is what? Ascending, alright? If I use the word ascending, this kind of like a plane is taking off. So that means from small to big, okay? So number 3. So you're given, alright? So, well, how about we do this? Let Mr. Mac erase the board, so that way we can have more space to work on it, okay? Give me a few seconds, I'll be back. Alright, number 3, okay? Arrange the following decimal in increasing order, okay? So let's write that down, okay? Number 3. First, let's write that down. It's 5.488, 5.509, 5.48, and then 5.5. Alright. What is the procedure? How do we do this, something like this, to arrange them in an increasing order? First, what do we have to do? Exactly, grab them by the decimal, line them up. Good job. Grab them by the decimal, line them up. Grab this one, put right there. Grab that one, put right there. Grab that one, put that. Grab that one, put right there. See that? Don't try to, by looking at it and trying to guess it, well, that's going to be bigger, that's going to be smaller, that's going to be next one. Never ever, okay? Line them up, okay? So once you line them with the decimal, now write down 5.488, 5.509. Make sure you line them up right also, okay? By the place value. 5.48. Add 0 to it. Alright, go ahead, add the 0, okay? So that way all has equal amount of digits. Alright, the next one is 5. Go ahead, add the 0 for that one, alright? So now you can start comparing. The first row, which is the whole numbers, okay? All has 5. So we cannot decide yet. Decimal now. Now we go to the next digit. Look at that. 4, 5, 4, 5. And what arrangement are we going to make? We're going to do the increasing. We're going to start with the smallest. That means these two are smallest. So now we're going to start with these two first. We're going to compare between these two, which one is smaller. Alright? 8 and 8. We got the next digit, 8 and 8, that means still I cannot decide. But look at that third digit, 8 and 0. That means tells me this is the smallest. Alright, and then this is the first, and this is going to be the second in my arrangement. Alright, so we already decided. Now let's go to the third one. Now go back to 5 and 5. The next one is 0 and 0. 9 and 0. So who's smaller? This one is smaller. That means this is going to be third and this is going to be the biggest, the fourth. See that? A systematic. You got to have some kind of plan. If you follow the step properly, you won't make a mistake. You write that down. So that way now you can just follow. Okay, 5.48 and then 5.488. And then the third one is 5.5. I dropped the 0, okay? The 0 was part of the working. When you're arranging it, you don't put the zeros anymore. You just drop the zeros, okay? And then the fourth is going to be 5.509. I'm talking about these zeros, okay? Not that 0, okay? That's very important. Kind of talked to earlier. That has a very significant value to it. So decide the place value of the next digit. So you can't drop that. Only this one you can drop. Alright? Okay, good. There we go. We arranged it in an increasing order. Small, see that? And then bigger, bigger, biggest. Okay, good. Let's look problem number 4. Arrange the following decimal in decreasing order. Ooh, see, decreasing. See that? In other words, descending. The plane is landing from up to down. See that? Okay. Alright, number 4, we're going to use the decreasing. So the given is 3.09, 3.1, 3.11, 3.05. So how do I do? Good job. Okay, grab them by the decimal and line it up. Grab them by the decimal and line them up. Alright, okay, good. Oh, you know, so I start singing now. Okay, alright, okay, let's do that. Grab them by the decimal and then line them up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 3.09, 3.1, put a 0, and then 3.11, 3.05. See that? So now you can compare them. Start with the very left, okay? The round number, okay? That means all of them are equal. So go to the decimal there, then look at this one. We're looking what? What approach are we using? Decreasing. Start with the biggest and then down to the smallest. Make a habit. Draw this. If you've been told increasing, draw this. Decreasing, draw this. That way you can see that, my first one is going to be big and my final one is going to be the smallest. See that? My first one is going to be the smallest and the final one is going to be the biggest. Okay, so now I'm going to look for the one should be the biggest one. So I'm looking for the biggest one. 0, 1, 1, 0. 0, 0 are smaller than 1, 1. So between these two I got to find out which one is bigger. So I got next digit 0 and 1. This is going to be my 1. This is going to be automatically be the 2. Now between these two I'm going to compare and find out who's going to be the 3. 0 and 0 and 9 and 5. Who's bigger? 9. So that's going to be my 3 because that's going to be the smallest. It's going to be the 4. See that? So that way you can always look at it and refer it. If you made a mistake, sometime you made a thing suddenly in the middle of the solving it, you forgot that you're looking for decreasing. You thought maybe increasing. See that? So that's why it's good to put the diagram, put the number like this. That way you can look at it and try to locate them. So once you numbered them, now write it. The first one is going to be 3.11 and the second one is going to be 3.10. The third one is going to be 3.09 and the fourth one is going to be 3.05. There you go. That's it. Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, good. Alright, let's look problem number 5. Round off to the 2 decimal place. Okay, so you're given 427.048. Now you're told 2 decimal place. 2 decimal right there. 1, 2 line right there. Okay, what method we're going to use? The butterfly method. Okay, the right wing is the decision making. So look at 8. Is 8 greater than 5? Yes. If it's greater than 5, what do? We add 1 to the left wing. Okay, we add 1 to left wing. And this one becomes 0. 1 plus 4 is 5. Bring the 0 down. Bring the decimal down. Bring the 7 down. 2 down. 4 down. Very important. Okay. So your final answer should be 427.05. That's your final answer. Okay. Good. And that's for problem number 5. Okay, so we did problem number 5. Now problem number 6. That says round off to the 1000th place. This time I used the word 1000th rather than a 2 decimal or 3 decimal place. Okay, so round off to the 1000th place. So you're given 3.4493. So 1000th has how many zeros? 3 zeros. Okay, that means I look for the third. 1, 2, 3 right there. That's why I put the line. Okay, because this is the one the 1000th. Alright, again decimal 1, 2, 3. 1000th has how many zeros? 3. 1, 2, 3. Put a line. Now become a butterfly. See that? That's your lifeline. So now the right wing is going to decide whether I add 1 or no. In this case, is 3 greater than 5? No, it's less than 5. That means, do I add anything to 9? No, I don't. I leave it the way it is. So bring the 9 down, make this one to 0, 4, 4.3. So in other words, 3.449 is the answer. Okay, when we round it up to 1,000, it's 3.449. Good job. I know you got it all right, because you are Mr. Max student and you belong to an elite group, which is Score A Math Victory. That's what makes you so special. You are very, very special. Okay, because you work so hard. It takes someone like you who really want to enrich yourself, really want to make yourself better. Alright? And that's why you're putting this extra effort. You're sitting in front of the computer and listening to Mr. Mac and doing the hands-on practice. And what are you going to do next? Do the quiz. And yes, Pablo, he's already started reminding us it's quiz time. Alright? Go get them. Go get them, alright? Go have fun, because you belong to the elite group. Remember that you should always proud yourself. I mean in a good way, okay? Because you're learning. So go help your students or your friends, okay? If you find your classmates are struggling and you're smart and you know this material because you have Mr. Mac to help you. So your turn is your responsibility to learn, but also teach others. Help them. Okay, if you have your friends that are struggling, the best thing is to share your knowledge. Your knowledge should never be kept to yourself. Mr. Mac believe in that. I'm a strong believer. You should share your knowledge. Okay, that's the best way. That's a goodwill. It's a good thing to do. Help your friends, your classmates, and anyone. Oh, even your little brother, okay, or sister, little sister who's struggling with mathematics. Ask her or him, can I help you? Because you're smart now. You know mathematics. Alright? Okay, my dear students, have fun with the quiz. I'll see you in the next sub lesson. Alright? It's going to be fun. It's going to be addition and subtraction using the decimal. Alright? Bye-bye.